And I can only assume everybody knows that on Monday, April 8th, we're going to have an eclipse in Dayton. And it's going to be going, there we go, through the Pacific Ocean, over Mexico, Texas, central U.S., northeast, and end up in the Atlantic. And basically that covers half the world, whether it looks like it or not. Anyway, I'm decided to do this talk because I want to get people excited about the eclipse we've seen. Consider ourselves, Pete, my husband, up here in front, to be eclipse chasers, and we've gone to 13 eclipses and seen 12, so that's pretty good.
It's amazing.
Statistics. So, and of course, by being able to see all those, we've gone to the place where you're most likely to see them. So we are, in fact, are not going to be in Dayton, Ohio to watch the eclipse, but in Mexico. Because Ohio has a 50% chance of clouds. You think Ohio, Dayton in the spring, clouds possible.
But you never know.
Yeah, oh yeah, we can only hope there's 50% chance
Climate you
you will be able
expect,
to
weather
see
you
it.
get.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to give you some pointers on what to see during the eclipse, how to prepare for it, and how to photograph it. So, let's see. So how many people have seen a total solar eclipse before? Oh, okay.
It's amazing, guys. It's amazing.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing you see on photographs or anything can prepare you for it.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought I'd know exactly what it would be like and so forth. No.
When was the last time there was one visible in our area?
Close to our area was in 2017. If you went down to Kentucky or Smoky Mountains or
What about in the
that
90s?
sort of that area.
What about in the 90s?
Yeah, that's, it came
The
from Idaho down
90s,
this
I
way.
don't
It came
think
this
we've
way.
had a total
It wasn't
eclipse.
total in Dayton.
2017.
17, but
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
90s. Maybe
Oh,
a
no,
partial.
I don't think I remember about
I
those.
think the one before, the other one that was in Dayton was 200 years ago, I think.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
We've had an annular eclipse, I think, but that's not anything like a
We've had
total
partial
eclipse.
eclipses.
I just remember going out on the sidewalk in front of my office
Mhm.
and looking at the sidewalk with all of the
little
different
crescents.
shadows.
Those are
Yeah.
that's a partial eclipse.
Okay, so I
You
saw
can
that.
you
in
can
the
be
last-
way outside, you know, like on here. These are all, you can see a partial eclipse all the way out to here. So, you know, everybody in the United States is going to see a partial one. But where you have that nice effect of sunlight shining through the leaves and you get little crescents and stuff, yeah.
Right.
But a total eclipse is totally different, so.
Yeah.
and-
That's why I call it total, right? It's totally different.
Yeah, so. So what is a total, oops, well, there's a partial. We all know that. Okay, so this is kind of a diagram of what happens to create a total eclipse. We have the sun, and then to the right of it, the moon between the sun and the earth. And the moon is in such a position that it totally covers the sun, blocks out all the light coming from the sun, and that leaves that path of totality as we see that dark area there. And let's see, I guess that down here. So this is a slide of the paths of totality for all the total eclipses in the last 24 years.
Yeah, and you were asking when the last one in the United States was, and this is the one that we're seeing now going across here, and that was the one 2017 going across, so, you know.
August 21.
August 21. Yeah.
We were in Idaho for that.
We went all the way to Oregon because
Okay.
they were supposed to have the best, the least likelihood of clouds, but they did have forest fires, so things were a bit smoky there. And, you know, in Kentucky and most of the United States, it was clear. It was
Wow.
amazing. I was
Right,
just a
you
few
got some
areas.
awesome pictures still.
Oh, thanks.
Some of the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's why I thought, well, do I want to even try to photograph? No, Sally will take care of it. I'm just going to enjoy it.
So eclipses occur somewhere in the world every year and a half, which is interesting. And as a side, a total lunar eclipse also occurs every year and a half. But we're more likely to see a total lunar eclipse because their path of totality is much larger than the sun's.
Now, that's where the moon goes behind the Earth, right? So it's the opposite?
It's in the earth shadow,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a lot bigger.
And it's sometimes called a blood moon. As you can see, it picks up that orange color. And it gets that color because the sunlight is the light lightens up the moon, is sunlight that's reflected from the earth. And our atmosphere filters out all of the colors except the oranges and reds, sort of like it does for a sunset. You know, most sunsets are not green or anything like that. They're usually purple and pink and orange. So with the lunar eclipse, half the earth is able to see the eclipse. And as we saw with the solar eclipse, it's only a narrow band crossing one half of the earth where it can be seen. With our upcoming eclipse, the band of totality is 124 miles across. Let's see.
Yeah, total lunar eclipses can last an hour or so.
Yeah.
Solar eclipses are, the longest
In
are
the
7
minutes.
minutes, the shortest are 30 seconds.
This is like 4.5 minutes.
In Dayton,
This is
isn't it?
In Dayton. or
This
just
It's
is
not
pick
quite
way
that
out.
long. No,
It's
it's
pretty
more
good.
like 2 minutes and 53
No,
seconds.
it's 4:27. Look at your.
Well, yeah.
Not
we're-
in Dayton, it's 2:27. I mean,
That's
but if
what
you
you
go,
just said.
if you go just
You said
north
Dayton.
up to the,
Yeah,
right,
that's the best one they find.
yeah, if you go just north of here, 15 minutes,
Yeah,
that's where the
That's
center
yeah.
line.
That's where 1 million people are headed right now.
Yeah, center line is 4 minutes. Dayton is 2 minutes and 53
Yeah,
seconds.
you're
Okay.
right, you're right, yeah.
Okay, so the rest of the country is going to be able to see this partial eclipse.
Troy is gonna be even better.
Wow, that's amazing, that little distance.
It doesn't take
It's
long.
as
Wow.
intense.
Okay, with
They
a,
did the same thing, only
I
the
don't go
same
on the
visual.
country roads.
okay, with a partial eclipse,
My cousin was up there, was doing pulling there.
the light around you is going to diminish some. You're going to see crescent shapes on the pavement under trees. Sometimes this is the light coming through holes in the leaves, for instance. And you can, or you can see also the crescent if you're looking at the sun with special eyewear. With the total eclipse, the sky is going to darken, take on an eerie and strange kind of color. You may be able to see a racing moon shadow coming from you from the west, especially if you're high up on a mountain. Now, I've never seen that, but there's too much other stuff to look for. But some people have. And the temperature is going to drop 10 to 15 degrees. Some stars and planets will come out. You might get a dawn chorus from the birds, or the birds will start flying back to their roosts. So it's really a natural phenomenon, unlike anything else we're able to see, and pretty hard to
Yeah,
describe.
you
with words.
might,
What's the
I
time
just,
frame?
I just read on the web, there's actually a comet that's coming by that may be visible
At the
Yeah.
same
at
time?
the same
Yeah,
time.
so it's
Wow.
gonna be-
It's,
I thought it was pretty faint.
It's very faint.
Yeah.
But it's one of these comets that may choose to lighten up, everybody, kind of hope springs eternal, maybe it'll do its thing.
What's the time frame? When is it gonna happen?
It's going to, but I have it written down, but it's going to be about 3 o'clock in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
here it's around 3 in the afternoon.
I have that
Yeah, I'll
exact
be up
time.
in Pickle.
As you go west, it'll be earlier.
Where are you gonna be?
Pickle.
Pickle? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
traveling, the moon is moving along the ground at 1,000 miles an hour, so it's, it doesn't, it covers the United States pretty fast.
So anyway, this explains why people are going to be coming from all over the world to see this eclipse. They may not be coming to Ohio. 7 million people live in the path of totality in Ohio, and it's thought between 200,000 to 500,000 people are going to be coming from surrounding states to Ohio. So, but most of the world's travelers will probably be going to Mexico or Texas instead of Ohio, for obvious reasons. Chance of heavy clouds in Ohio are 50%. But then that's also a 50% chance of being able to see it, so. So let's see, light, as we can see, a light cloud cover can add some drama and interest to an eclipse. So here we've got.
Oh, yeah,
picture with
we've
some
been
light.
in a couple where on the Pacific particularly, where no clouds at all, but the humidity is high. And when things cool down, all of a sudden, where'd all these clouds come from?
Huh.
Yeah.
And it makes it pretty exciting, and there've been times when, oh, it's gonna be covered, and then just a hole opens up and we see it. And
Wow.
And then
other times, like.
the hole doesn't
our-
open up and
our-
we don't see it. I haven't
We
went
had
down
the one
that
there,
way.
we saw in the Pacific near Pitcairn Island was, it just clouded out totally.
Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
even think about that, yeah.
But we had the most spectacular sunset that I've ever seen. It was like the earth was on fire.
The time you missed the eclipse, the
Yeah.
time you didn't see, yeah.
It was just, I've never seen anything like it. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, what are
Now,
the
that's a
colors?
total, right, Sally?
Well, excuse me?
That's a total eclipse there?
Yeah, that's a total eclipse. And you can see we had some clouds going on and kind of a rainbow effect on the clouds.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
Made it kind of
So
cool.
that's
Wow.
from the
Is that
moisture
rainbow effect
Yeah.
common, or was that?
No, you got, that's the
What-
first time I've
What kind of
seen that.
lens did you use?
Probably a 100 to 400. Yeah, bigger, kind of the bigger the better in a way.
Right.
And I'll talk about that. So here's an image of a annular eclipse. This is a partial eclipse that happens when the moon and sun are lined up, but the moon is further away from the earth and doesn't totally cover the sun. So it's sometimes called a ring of fire or a hole in the sky. That's kind of interesting.
Now, does it almost get dark, but it
No,
doesn't?
it doesn't, when it, you almost, unless you're aware of it, you almost wouldn't even know it's happening.
Huh.
It's so bright
So,
out.
again, this is one of those things that you have to use eye protection to look directly at it.
Uh-huh.
As with any partial phase. So let's see, so what do you need to see an eclipse? Well, some preparation, mobility helps certainly. Here we've got, okay, here we have the path.
Huh.
The red is the center line where it's going to be the longest.
Wow. So right through Beaver Creek, Centerville.
Well, the red line is is
Oh,
4.5
the red.
minutes. Dayton's down at 2
Oh,
minutes and
oh,
something.
I
2 minutes
see.
and
Preble
something.
County,
Okay.
on the red line, Preble County.
Yeah.
Your place, Barbara.
Wapakoneta.
So Sydney, for instance, is close
Yeah.
to the center line. They'll have
Uh-huh.
3 minutes and 52 seconds. And Dayton will get 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
I might.
So,
Sydney gets how long?
3 minutes and 52, almost 4
3:52,
minutes.
almost 4, yeah.
Yeah. So it might be worth traveling north to get another minute of totality.
Uh-huh.
It'll definitely be worth traveling to Sydney, for instance, if they have no clouds and Dayton is clouded in.
Now, would Lima, you wouldn't get as much in Lima, it would be Wapakoneta or
Lima's about the
Sydney?
same as Sydney, see, because
Yeah.
it's about the same distance
Yeah.
from the center line.
Yeah,
Yeah, here's Wapak, Sydney,
uh-huh,
so,
yeah.
And you know, you just keep going up on 75 and take one of those side roads and watch it. You don't have to,
Right.
be in any place special to see
Right.
this eclipse, because it's going to be high enough up in the sky that you don't have to worry about trees and things covering it up.
Yeah.
We need to get a tee time in the golf course up in Sydney.
So the totality is going to be at 3:09 to 3:12 in Dayton. And the partial phase starts at 1:53 and it's over at 4:25.
Now,
So-
that's partial, right? So that's when that's first contact?
Yeah, first contact's 1:53 and it's over.
You want to tell us, Sally, do people know what the different sort of stages are in an eclipse? Like there's first contact, there's, you know,
okay.
there's the second contact, there's diamond
Yeah,
ring,
yeah,
second
yeah,
contact, third, you
Give
know.
me a chance, give me a chance.
So it starts at 1 o'clock, something?
Yeah, you're going to have a little nip out of the sun. The moon is just starting to
and
cover it.
that's affectionately called first contact.
Okay. And it'll last
Now it'll
till
get more and more and more.
4 o'clock, something?
Yeah,
Take
4:25.
about an hour to to
Yeah.
fill up. And eventually, it's just a thin crescent, right? And then eventually, as it starts to totally cover the sun, you'll see just one, it'll shrink down until there's one bright spot. Okay? She's gonna
Which
talk
I'll
about that.
All these experts here.
That was the next page of the notes.
Yeah, right.
Sorry about that.
So anyway, kind of my point is, since it's happening in the afternoon, you can keep your eye on the weather and see if it's going to be worth your while to travel someplace
Right.
else, or just stay put.
Right.
And, 3 minutes is not a bad amount of time for a totality.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We've seen them where it was like 37 seconds.
Wow.
And, that goes really
What was
fast.
it you thought?
2
There
minutes.
are, if you Google total eclipse places to see it in Dayton, there are lots of activities and events going on. The Air Force Museum has kind of got a whole day focused in on it. Boonshoff Nature Center has
Oh.
got lots of activities going on, some of which are free and some of which might cost you. So, I mean, if you want to add to the experience, but I don't know that it's really necessary.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so viewing the eclipse, okay. Most important thing to remember is you have to protect your eyes when viewing the sun at all times, except for the actual totality. Then you can look at that with your
That's a
naked
key
eyes.
thing many people don't understand. It's during partial phases, you've got to have eye protection. You have to have eye
And
protection.
back here on our table, we have our audio visuals, you can check them out, but we have,
It's a Mylar filter.
filters to go over, I'm gonna show them.
Is that for your camera, honey?
I even got them for
Filters to go over
binoculars.
binoculars.
Yeah, if you want to,
Okay.
I'm a binocular guy, and
You can pass these around too. So these are eclipse
goggles
glasses.
around. You guys have seen it.
Those work well, those
But
Mylar.
binoculars, you depending on binoculars, you can get these filters from Thousand Oaks, and they cover it up, so,
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, you can.
But you'll only see, with those Mylar, you'll only see it if you're actually looking at the sun. But with those, you can look at the sun anytime and see sunspots and stuff.
So, you can, one can be tempted to glance up at the sun.
You're gonna have one of those, you're gonna have some more shade.
Yeah.
So now,
but-
what did you put in there? What did you put in there?
This is like a welder's glass filter,
Uh-huh.
that you can also get some stuff online, some plastic stuff like Mylar.
Okay.
I think we have, this was a sort
This
of
is my
a
homemade,
thing for a camera that you could put
Okay.
almost around that, not
really-
quite, not quite.
That's
But
really-
that Mylar you can buy by the sheet for, $5, $10, I don't know, maybe more. And you could put that in here. These-
Okay.
We got this as part of the Eclipse trips, the people that organized them got them for us,
CD
but that's the,
photos there.
What's really weird about Mylar is it's so thin that you look at that and say, well, if you put that in front of your camera, it would look like a mess, but it doesn't. It doesn't distort the image at all.
no, this, doesn't have to be smooth.
So you have to have something on your camera if you take a picture.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
and-
during the partial phases.
Until totality.
But during totality, during all our trips, it was like, one of the announcements was, filters off, because a lot of people continue having the filter on there, I didn't get any pictures, it was
I
dark.
didn't- yeah, look around, everybody yelling and screaming and going, oh, you, and you say, I don't see anything. That's a clue, take your filter off. So I replaced that with a little bit nicer filter.
Yeah, this is the home brew stuff. If you don't want to spend a lot, or if you want to spend, I don't know.
How many stops? How many stops?
This?
Yeah.
15, something like
15,
that.
16?
I don't know, the attenuation is like 100,000 or something like that. It's a lot. I don't know how many stops that,
A neutral density would work.
you cannot.
See what they had going,
I don't think
You could use that with an arc welder.
yeah, exactly. Let's see if we can get, can you even see anything at all?
Yeah, just a little dot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see maybe just a teensy little dot on there.
So what, okay, so
So you don't want to use
Okay.
sunglasses, medical x-ray film, smoked glass, floppy disks, any of that stuff, because it won't, keep the sun out. These Eclipse glasses that are kind of going around, you should be able to get for a couple of dollars, and that maybe they're charging more for
I
now.
hope you heard what Peter and Sally were saying here, that even when it gets down so there's almost no sun left, it still isn't safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe until the sun is gone.
Somebody was saying that they heard that people were selling fake Eclipse glasses.
Wow.
But that handout that I gave you, I'm passing around, if you get them from any of those resources, they would be safe, so, just.
There is a scientific instrument we used out in Idaho, which was really cool, called a colander.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sally has a picture of that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you take a colander, you can just shine all, especially during the partial eclipse, you can shine all these perfect little images anywhere you want. Like, it really looks cool.
Hey, Sal,
Mm-hmm,
you said you use your 100 to 400.
mm-hmm.
Could you use more?
Yeah,
What I was reading, they said 500 to 1,000.
yeah, right. I'll have another slide I'll get
Oh, you're
to
gonna
show you
get- okay.
how
What-
big they will be with.
Sally, what's this neutral density filter?
It's a solar filter, it's not.
It's a solar
really
filter, it's not
density.
neutral. Well, it is in a way, but it's
Yeah.
very
It's
dense.
18 stops.
18 stops.
18. This is in Japanese, so unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Japanese.
Yeah,
Well,
I
so-
can't tell you about it, but,
Sally, do those lenses in the glass, the $2 glasses, do those lenses wear out? Because I've got those from the last time we had a partial
I don't
eclipse.
think so.
Does that
I
wear
think-
out?
No, I think you can keep
know what
using,
that
there's no reason
corresponds
that they
Okay.
wear
I
out.
was just reading about it.
Yeah.
Check for scratches
Okay.
or anything. Like-
Okay, so we talked about you gotta use them. And be sure you put the filter on the front of your lenses or the telescopes, or binoculars. If you put them on the back, or if you put the glasses on and then look through your camera and your binoculars without the lens on the front, that the optics will intensify the damage caused by the sun and can actually sort of destroy your camera and your eyes too.
Can you say that again?
Okay,
So-
all these filters have to be on the outside of your camera, binoculars, whatever like that.
Filter
Somebody-
has to be at that end. Never, ever put it back here.
Oh, I see, so
Yeah.
on
Because
your
it
camera.
concentrates the
on the
light.
lens.
Or as a
Got it.
drop-in
Yeah.
filter.
You know, all you guys remember frying ants with a magnifying glass?
That puts it at the back of the lens.
Yes.
Well, the trouble is then the optics that the sun goes through intensifies it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
You can't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can't do
You have
that,
to be
okay.
on the
Can't do
front.
a drop in.
Everything has to be on the front.
Right,
But
right.
there's a lot of people that think about that.
Yes, we have.
And again, don't think you can use
Yes, baby.
the solar glasses and look through the binoculars or the camera or anything like that. It has to, as I
Yeah,
said before, it has to be on the
filters have
front.
to be
Sure.
So can you, say you had the filter on the front of your camera, and now these, cameras have the screens on the back. You can look at that if you're, but you, without
I
any
don't know
problem.
what screws on the back. Are you familiar with that?
You still want to be
You can
careful.
look
Yeah,
at
as long as you have those in front of your lens.
You
Right.
still want to
Yeah.
be careful because
I would-
you get that bright light going in there. I don't know what it does to the various sensors that are in there. I would,
No, I'm saying have the filter on the outside,
oh, yeah,
but look at your screen.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Look at your LCDs.
Yeah, look at
Well,
your
the-
LCD screen.
the light for the screen comes through the filter
Right.
ultimately,
Right.
so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's sort of like, if you ever used a magnifying glass to direct the sun rays onto a small insect or dry grass, it burns them up. So that's what's going to be happening if you don't protect yourself. So actually, there we are, me with my camera and my lens cover.
So you guys were out in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, cruise ships are sometimes a good way of increasing the opportunity to see the eclipse because they have an area they can go to. They can find out from the weather systems where there won't be any clouds and can go toward those. And then sometimes sort of race to find a hole in a cloud as the clouds are starting to form. So you have a better chance on a cruise ship. It makes it tough for photography because the boat's always moving,
Right.
But if you don't see it, then it's not helping you much. So
Is it tough when the ship's moving around?
yeah, and trying to keep it in your
Right.
And this last time I started getting motion sick because I didn't think it was going to be that rough. And but they turned the engines off basically.
They never turned the engine off.
They turned the
I was moving a little bit, but
stabilizers off.
still,
They turned something off. We were moving a lot.
Did it help?
It was pretty rough.
No,
It would have been rough.
no, I couldn't. I started getting motion sick. I was not a happy camper. So here actually is probably the safest way to see partial phases anyway. And we were talking about colander. This is somebody went to great effort to make this design by drilling holes in the plywood. And I don't know if you can kind of see what it is. Let's see.
That is
The
amazing.
dragon eating the sun,
Wow.
which is the ancient Chinese explanation of what happens with partial phases and totality. And
Isn't that
then I guess
cool?
he spits it out. I guess that's why the sun comes back. I don't know. I didn't like the taste.
Now, so what they did there is they have different size holes, right?
No, those
No,
were all
all the
the
same size.
same size
Oh.
hole, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's
It
see.
depends on the angle.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like they're the same. Now, it might have been the sun were smaller holes. And the rest of it were bigger holes. That could be. This is one compulsive fellow here. Okay. So during totality, you want to have a variety of things that you can look for. First phenomena is.
Don't you have more
Oh,
pictures?
we have. Okay, there's another picture of.
Oh, that's cool.
With the binoculars, you can sort of project.
Wow.
This is the time you don't have to have the filter on there for the partial phases in that case, but literally make a projector out of it. So I made two projectors through the binoculars, and we got these little half moon.
Wow.
But the other thing, notice I have my hand up here. I made a little hole, and that
Yeah.
crescent is down there. only
Right.
Not as not as nice as the one from the binoculars, but.
That's a
So
cool.
any kind of a little hole will project the,
So, you have, well, if you have at least an hour of partials and, you
Oh, yeah.
want to do something to entertain yourself.
Right.
This is a great way to, straw hats work well too, because
short
anything with
attention
little
span
holes.
people.
Okay, so a variety of things well, also to look for are, check out the horizon. Now here we had really unusual light on this clouds. But, if you look around at the horizon, it's going to be a kind of a twilight effect oftentimes, because the sun is still, shining outside that 124 miles, or it would be less than that, probably for you. Okay, there we go.
Wow, cool. honey.
First
Look at that.
phenomena that you're going to look for, and this is called
What's
the
that?
diamond ring. And it happens just as totality is beginning and ending.
Solar flares.
makes
which are
a
seen
great-
from behind the moon.
A great photograph.
Yeah, it's
So-
amazing.
This is with the filter on.
No,
No.
this is
Okay.
this is the first time that you can take the filter off. That little bit of brightness is still part of the sun, and there's lots of discussion whether that's already safe for your eye or not, but it's like just a fleeting time. It's kind of like when, if you take a fleeting glance at the sun, you just sort of look past it. It was bright, but it didn't hurt you any. There's not much duration. The same thing with this. This only lasts for a fraction of a second
So when you see
So-
that, you put your glasses on after.
You-
Or you take your glasses off.
You want to take,
Well, you'll have your glasses off.
just before, you can.
Oh, this is before
this is a
totality. This
picture.
is the beginning of totality, is the diamond ring. That's the last
Oh,
little
okay.
bit of
See,
the
now
sun.
that-
You take your filter off maybe a smidgen even before that, it won't hurt your
So it's
camera.
moving that direction. It's
Put your
moving that
glasses on.
direction.
Yeah.
Moves
This is the
closing,
first, okay.
crossing.
Okay.
Now, that there looks like you've got about so much sun showing.